Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Monson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. Isn't that nice? Dog library, take a stick, leave a stick. That's for all you dog owners. Haven't seen any pooch pictures for a little while. Your pooch and pussy pooks, welcome via 913-590-303. And of course, Guess the Gumper pictures. We still have outstanding Guess the Gumper pictures in the form of this wonderful couple here. Who is that from our community this morning? And who is this handsome fella here? I'll give you a clue. He's got a new video out, so that'll give you a little bit of a clue. Who is this fella here in this Guess the Gumper picture? Keep them coming, folks. Who's this Gumper? Oh, yeah, that's Frank after a few red wines last Saturday night. Nice publishing of the cost of pints at various football grounds. Nice to see that at Manchester United, you can still get a pint for £3 British, I think. Good morning to you, Portugal son. How you doing? Bom dia, alegria a todos. Feliz quinta-feira. 9 dias. 9 days to go. Fantastic. How exciting must it be in your household right now? And possibly a little bit stressed at times. If there's anything we can do to help, do let us know at Portugal Sun. Interesting day this morning. A fun day. A chance to drink booze early on in the morning. Kids, I was going to say ask for permission. That's not what I mean. Do not be drinking. Everybody, drink responsibly, okay? I'm doing my bit in the nanny state that is the Good Morning Portugal show. Drink responsibly. And maybe raise a glass of your. Well, there is this whole sort of sobriety thing going on. A lot of people are giving up booze at the moment, aren't they? So bring whatever you like to celebrate. Raise a glass. That's the important thing. Raising a glass this morning, as channel sponsors, Your Home are launching sales of their Herdade Meio homes over there south of the river in Lisbon, and we'll find out more from Bobby. In case you've been under a rock and haven't found out about Herdade Meio, which is a very exciting flagship, game-changing project south of the capital, 50 minutes to town, and off-grid, sustainable action going on there on that site. More from Bobby when he joins us at 9:30 this morning. And before him, of course, GMP regular Michael Heron at 9 o'clock. Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday, which is what this is. And I've got a few wonderful news stories, interesting and wonderful news stories for you. Portuguese pastry best in the world. We did mention that en passant. I'm going to go into it in a deeper way. Who doesn't like to go into a bit of nata custard in a deep way first thing in the morning? What is worrying Portuguese people? That's not a wonderful article, especially, but it's an interesting one from the Portugal News. And did you pass? It's like one of those wartime conscription posters, isn't it? Did you pass through Via Verde toll by mistake? We'll tell you what to do in case that has been your misfortune, or if you've got that doubt in the back of your mind. And Portugal's shoemakers sign a green pact, which I went into in a little bit of detail last night on the Portugal Business Club, which was great fun last night. We nearly got around to talk. Well, we did talk about the NIF number, which we needn't say. If you say NIF number, you're saying automatic telling machine. You're saying number twice because it is a número, identificação fiscal, NIF. You only need to say your NIF. You don't need to say your NIF number. But I'm so in the habit now. And I think I will just touch on that briefly, which is what we did last night, really, at the Portugal Business Club. But some of you weren't there. There are different preferred times of watching Good Morning Portugal output. So if you missed that last night, I'll give you a link to the new booklet that's come from the government about how to get it's not, they don't call it how to get the best out of your NIF number, but it's along those sort of lines. You know what I mean? Happy March to you as well. First pinch punch, first of the month, and no returns, everybody. Okay. Deagle's in, Coach Turner's in. T-Duck is in with some fabulous Hugununu Portuguese saying and dad joke action this morning, and reminding us, I don't say enough about this, I don't think, which I guess is a bit of a, it could pee off people who can't make it, who'd like to be there, but running the risk of that, I'm telling you now that it's, as T-Duck is, that it's San Martinho de Porto Meetup Wednesday, so our Silver Coast Meetup, which we do every week between 1 and 3 in San Martinho de Porto, under the wing of the wonderful Nelson at the Palmeira Cafe, who's available if you want to just brush up your Portuguese, if you want to hang out with some fun folks, expats. Yeah, really, who knew? If you want to hang out with some of the coolest expats in Portugal, come along to our Silver Coast meetup. Portuguese people are there as well. We mingle, we blend and mingle there. So all welcome. I was actually in the Intermarché supermarket yesterday doing a bit of shopping with my daughter. The fella in the queue next to me with a smile on his face says, "I watch your channel." I said, "Well, thank you very much. That's really kind of you." And so I invited him along. Canadian Max, good morning to you. If you see this, let's hope we see you at the meetup as well. Lovely to meet you in the supermarket yesterday. It's always a great pleasure. Oh, Gary V brings us the deep thought of the day. Let's go straight there because I was trying to think of that guy who's always talking to the camera with his ideas. That's Gary V. Actually, the V stands for Gary Vaynerchuk, commonly known as Gary V, Soviet-born American entrepreneur, author, speaker, and internet personality. Yes, I mean, he just owns that, doesn't he? Internet personality for sure. Is he still going? I'm guessing he is. Used to watch quite a few of his videos. Deep thought, without hustle, talent will only carry you so far. So you got to keep on hustling, baby. I think there's some truth in that. Thank you very much, Gary V, via T-Duck this morning. Let's see what I was going to call him Cod Squad. Do you know what? The Portuguese people are the Cod Squad, aren't they, I guess? But this is God Squad, not Cod Squad. God Squad tip of the day from Coach Turner, who says, "Bom dia todos. Had my first pastel de nata this trip yesterday, sitting in a park overlooking the harbour in Funchal, watching people coming and going off the cruise liners. One of those moments." Oh, we love those moments. Have I got a jingle for those moments? Yes, I do. How beautiful, Gumper dust all over that moment. I'll come back to you in just a moment, Coach Turner. Let me see. Everyone seems a bit quiet in the chat this morning. Smash the like button and whatever else. What else can we do now? I think we've got a number of things. That the Gumper workout includes smashing the like button. Oh, and hitting the join button, only if you want to, of course. Lee McGrady's in. Yulu. Oh, are you talking about Funchal, Yulu? What's this? You just panic and pay up, don't you? Ria Via Verde. We did that, didn't we, Mrs. M? A long time ago. That's why I still think we've got a little bit of jitteriness whenever we go near a gantry or a toll point. Yeah, that was an early and difficult memory. Quite the opposite of enjoying a pastel de nata. That was enjoying a bit of Portuguese stress on the roadside there, trying to speak in Portuguese to somebody through a machine and getting shouted at, I think, by a lorry driver who said, "You can't park there," in Portuguese or something like that. Anyway, and who doesn't like to be touched briefly first thing? Did I say that? Yeah, Lee McGrady, Anna, Jim, Lee, how are you this morning? And James, of course. Oh, yeah, James, I've made a little blog piece out of your excellent stress-relieving jingle that you made. So we'll come to that as well. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here this morning. Let's go back then to the God Squad tip of the day. Oh, no, not until we have heard about the weather in Belfast. Good morning to you, Deagle. Bon dia, Colin Gumpers from a dry, cool Belfast. 1 degree overnight, should hit the lucky 7 today. Cold, minus night temperatures Thursday and Friday of -3. Wrap up warm, electric blankets under or over, whichever you prefer, I think, would be the prescription for you, Deagle. Oh, talking of prescriptions, had someone complaining of cephalus last night, a condition where you struggle with the immigration authority of Portugal. Cephalus. What's this, Mrs. Feel Good Astrology? Happy belated whatever. Keep it up. Well, thank you very much. That can go towards the toll fees, can't it? Mrs. M testing in British pounds. The super chat button this morning. Well, thank you very much. I've already got a little bit of booze standing by. Maybe I can buy a bit more with that. Will do show for booze. No, for cash. Bon dia todos. Yeah, the pastel de nata moment from Coach Turner there, and God Squad tip of the day from him, continuing the theme of ankle rehab. Ankle Rehab sounds like one of those grunge bands, doesn't it? From the 90s. So, continuing with that theme of ankle rehab, sitting down on a chair, place a towel on the floor in front of you and put your bare feet on the nearest edge, which could be a person, couldn't it? And then give a nice little foot rub too. Use your toes to pull the towel towards you. You'll be surprised how hard it is, but it works all the muscles in your feet without the danger of straining them. Hold on, I need to go through this again. What is this? God Squad tip of the day, continuing on the theme of ankle rehab. Sitting down on a chair, place a towel on the floor in front of you and put your bare feet on the nearest the nearest edge of the towel, not the nearest edge, like, whether that be a step, a person, or a chair. So the nearest edge of the towel. And then wiggle your toes, I guess. Use your toes to pull the towel towards you. You'll be surprised how hard it is, but it works all the muscles in your feet without the danger of straining them. Now, some people have got toes, and I would include myself in this, that are almost like fingers, who will find that a little bit easier than the people with those cute little stubby toes. I wonder. Let us know in the chat, if you will. Look at this. The supporters, the new membership supporters get a little bit of a little logo-y thing, though, don't they, by their names? T-Duck included here, who says, Bom dia, alegria, Gumpers. Thank you for that, Gary V. Thought. And the Portuguese saying of the day is entre março e abril, herde o cucuvir. Between March and April, the cuckoo will come. And I can't say that without thinking of Jack Black. Can you? Who knew then? The region of present-day Portugal was inhabited by Neanderthals and then by Homo sapiens, who roamed the borderless region of the northern Iberian Peninsula. Yes, borders are fairly recent, aren't they? I don't suppose the Neanderthals and Homo sapiens worried. They didn't need to carry their WABC card. That's the modern day Neanderthals who have to do that, isn't it? No, only kidding. And I didn't say, did I, which side I thought those Neanderthals belonged to? And I'm not going to. So, yes, they roamed the borderless region of the northern Iberian Peninsula. And it would be a while before those concepts of flags and borders and passports would come, of course. These were subsistence societies. And although they did not establish prosperous settlements, they did form organized societies. And that's interesting and subjective, isn't it? I guess in their own minds, they were the leading edge of evolution and development and human progress. So whilst we don't see them as prosperous settlements, they may have seen themselves as having prosperous settlements. It's never, we've never had it so good licking rocks and licking tree bark and stuff like that and starting fires. They were living the dream possibly in their own minds, as we are now. Who knows what's to come? They did form organized societies then. Neolithic Portugal experimented with domestication of animals. I saw a meme along these lines about how wheat domesticated us. Yes, we didn't become farmers. Wheat domesticated us. It was along those lines, which I thought was very interesting. Some scholars believe that early in the first millennium BC, several waves of Celts invaded Portugal from Central Europe and intermarried with the local populations, forming different tribes. See, they were living the dream, weren't they? Can you imagine finding a new Celtish girlfriend or boyfriend, and going back to the folks and saying, I've got an announcement to make. I'm going to be running off with this lovely Celt I've found just recently. Or they're going to be welcomed into our family, however that worked. Happy times in the Neolithic. Dad jokes for later on, then I'll be showing. Michael's great, isn't he? To inflict dad jokes upon. A visual one, though, before we go there. Thank you very much. And we'll stick with the slug for a moment, because great value from the slug this morning. Let me take that comment off the screen so you can see the punchline here. No, that's yesterday's, but you can enjoy it again, of course, because it's a dad joke. Can't believe some people actually collect old magazines. They must have a lot of issues. Yes, okay, so good. We did it twice. This morning's, where's it gone? This morning's, along with a lot of other marvelous images sent to me on 913-590-303. When I moved out on my own, I got a locket with my picture in it. Oh, so you are independent. Ooh, that kind of hurt a little bit. Eye-watering there. Thank you very much for that. He does love them, though, the slug. And, of course, he is over on our blog this morning with a new stress relieving tool called Slug-Based Stress Relief, which I'm about to share with you now, if I can bring that onto the screen, along with some stories from the Portugal News and Portugal Resident this morning, and Michael joining us at 9 to discuss those and tell us how he's getting on, and to be here to answer your questions about Portugal, all and any questions about Portugal, whether you're new here or you've got questions that continue to occur after 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years in Portugal. I think people will always have questions that come up. So here we go. There's a fabulous picture of the slug there. Can you see him in the middle of the screen there? And this is that wonderful, wonderful stress relieving jingle that you can play for yourself now if you go to the blog, and I'll give you the link for this. You might want to download it, which I think you can do from here. And you can also just play it down the phone to people or post it on social media when things are getting to you. And you can just press the button and it will say,
Just stop it, you idiot.
I love it. I put that on Twitter, hoping that it might go viral. Did you actually get to hear that with me playing it from the website? Then let me just do it again, just to check. I need to check my VU meters and see if that's coming up.
Just stop it, you idiot.
I think that you should be hearing that, and I'll put the link to it so you can have some fun with that as well. Don't be offending too many people with that, will you? Okay, but I think there are quite a lot of use cases for that. I've often been called a Celt. I heard, talking of Celts, I was told a story last night of somebody going to Wales, going in for a pint, as you do when you're British, looking for a pint, having landed, went into a Welsh bar of some sort. We've got a lovely Welsh bar, by the way. Let me preface this comment or this little anecdote with that heartwarming assertion that we have a Welsh bar, which is fantastic, run by the brilliant Tudor here in San Martino de Porto. But friend, I'll just say friend, so we don't get into any trouble here. But went into a Welsh bar and said, "Can I have a pint, please?" And it was it went quiet as he walked in, and so the bartender said, "You're not from round here, are you? Over the road for you was sent out. This is not for tourists and foreigners in here. Get over the road. There's a place for people like you on the other side of the street." That's a proper Welsh bar for Welsh people right there, isn't it? Mark's in as well. Hola, bon dia, alegria. And yes, where was this where you've been called a Celt? You tell me who they are, Coach Turner. Live from Seattle, please welcome Ankle Rehab. Yay! Seattle, you rock. Uncle Rehab. Yeah, I think that resonates with people, does it not? Pips is in as well. Do you come every first of the month? Because looking at your correspondence that you send with me, that I'm very grateful for. What is this? Omnism? Okay, I'm going to put this up on the screen. Thank you for this. But I was looking through what you send me from Botswana, and you sent me, it's February, Pinch Punch, first of the month. So I think, do you have a little reminder in your diary on the first day of the month to join us, Pips? But great to have you here. And great to have you here this morning. I thought we'd lost Salvation Air Force to France, but he's here this morning, which is fantastic. And this is from Pips, the belief that no religion is truth, but the truth is found within them all. That's Omnism. Omnism. This morning. Thank you very much. That's a nice thought, isn't it? Probably could start a religious row, though. Christina in Caldash, look at you. Hola, bom dia, Gumpers. Nicely done there, Christina in Caldash. Our Caldash expert now. My mum was from Pembrokeshire, so I qualify. You are a total and utter Celt. In that case, I would say, if it follows the maternal line there. Bon dia, todos from Antonio F. Now, I'm waiting for permission from Lord Gilchrist. It may be that he is having a rest this morning. Antonio F, I saw you. I saw what you're up to at the weekend. I was sent the video, the man cave tie presentation. What is that? What happens? Who gets the tie and why? And I've got a video of most of the people, I think, who are at the man cave gathering. So it'll be really nice to put the faces to the names that you see here in the chat. If it's okay to share that video, I just want to make sure it's okay, because there are a lot of people on it with the man cavers and their partners as well at a hostelry of some sort in Lisbon. I just want to make sure it's okay to share that with everybody who is included, and then you can put some faces to names. Excellent stuff. Okay, where do we get to this morning? We talked about dad jokes, and Dad Jokes, that's the famous Swedish band who are the support act for Uncle Rehab. This is where we got to after the dad jokes. Newton's first law of motion Objects at rest will stay at rest until my wife gives me a to-do list and a dirty look. That's an added husband joke in there in the mix this morning. Thank you very much for that. And bom dia, Gumpers. Feliz segunda a todos. Como va as coisas? How things? Asked James this morning. And bom dia, Gumpers from João do Norte. Hola, Selfie Slug. Hola, Thunder Duck. And we're going to have a GMP VIP after show gathering this Friday. Okay, so we're looking forward to welcoming you. That's a bit of an exclusive for all supporters of the show, whether that be in time, talent, or treasure. We'll have a little bit of a gathering after the show. We haven't done that for a while, but excellent suggestion, João de Norte. See you on Friday for the lock-in after the show. And don't forget, if you're a GMP VIP supporter, one of your other perks is that if you want to sit backstage during the show and watch it from the wings, you're very welcome to do that too. Just drop me a line and I'll make that happen. Bon dia, alegria todos. Then 9 days to go, says Portugal's son. And so excited for you, Francis, says James. Parabéns, Bobby O'Reilly. We'll talk to him at 9:30. Yes, they go on sale. The Herdade Meio homes go on sale. Off the plan, they go on sale at 10 o'clock today, and we'll be able to celebrate that moment live here on air. And here are some models of the development. I love these little kind of diorama models. Those are not solar panels at the end there. Those are the paddleball courts. Look at that. Fantastic. We'll talk to Bobby and celebrate with Bobby. I have got my little glass of white wine ready already. Not missing an opportunity to have a snifter first thing in the morning. Yes, shout out to all the GMP VIPs and those perks I just mentioned. And somebody did say to me last night, is that really a pastel de nata medallion? It so is. Can get a bit messy, but you can just take a little nibble from that during the day. And we will, yes, let's talk about pastel de natas in just a moment after we've said a proper hello. This is the Gumper Gathering, of course, from 8:31 every morning until 9 when our guests join us. Guests tomorrow, Fabrizio and Ian will be back tomorrow, of course, so we're looking forward to seeing them. But we're not through with today yet. And morning Gumpers from Feel Good Astrology. And I asked for a glass of drink responsibly. Yes, I asked for a glass of responsibly, and they brought me a Pedras, that's stone water. So Yulu, thank you for being here this morning. Tell us more about yourself, Yulu, if you want, only if you want to. I was there in January, fantastic location. I think possibly you're talking about Funchal there. Good morning, people. Lee McGrady. Somebody asking about you last night as well, Lee, in the Go Out and Grow show. And I said, of course, we have Jason now as a resident on a Tuesday. One Tuesday a month, we go to Quinta Esencial. And I'm sure you'll be joining us for most of those as well, Lee. So anybody, Christina, that was you, wasn't it? Christina and Caldas, anyone with gardening inquiries, join us on that. I think it's the third Tuesday. But anyway, you'll get plenty of warning about that when Jason joins us on a monthly basis to see what's going on at Quinta Esencial. He's a hardworking fella, and it's a miracle what's going on up there in central Portugal. And always a pleasure to visit his site, his Quinta. Bon dia todos, sun is up, and so am I now. Do you rise with the sun every day? How lovely to do that. And bon dia todos, good morning to you, Anna. Good morning to you, Jim White. We missed the 29th of March, but we get to use it next year. Extra day, government can claim taxes. Shouldn't that be the 29th of February, though, Deagle? I had a lie-in this morning as France is an hour ahead. Salvation Air Force, excellent. Good to see you. No. I went to the Herdade de Meio. I meant the project's location is brilliant. Okay. Funchal is good, and so is the location. Yulu, you tell us, what's so good about Herdade de Meio's location? I did mention already that it's 15 minutes by the train, by those fabulous double-decker trains across the water. Tell us what else is great about the location, Yulu, if you will. Bon dia, Gumpers from Pips. And we have Jean here as well this morning. Saudações de Mon Carapaccio ensolarado, mais pouco frio. A little bit cold there, but lovely and sunny in Mon Carapaccio. Jean, great to have you here. How's it going, Mark? Don't forget, Mark, whenever you're in, do put the links to your wonderful blogs and website. You're very welcome to do that. Christina, good morning to you. Antonio F., good morning to you. And Nom de Plume is back as well. Guess who's back? As is Owen. Bom dia. Varas de pesca prontos. Temporada começa hoje. Good morning to you, Owen. And bon dia, ladies, from Antonio F. as well, working the room. Alas, I must needs go. OFT. to gardening consultation with Fernando. Excellent. Good stuff there. Let us know what goes on with that, John. And thanks, Carl, making my calendar so I can start gardening in Caldash. It's a pleasure. Baddy's in as well, as is Sue's this morning. And let's go to the news in just a moment. Hi, I took typing in school, lasted a week, switched to art, still can't type. I thought this was like a dad joke, mum joke, Sue's joke here this morning. Switched to art, still can't type, even though it has become the way of the world. Me neither. I was thinking that the other day. Probably the most useful exam I've passed is the driving test, I've got to say. And I thought to myself, if only I'd passed a typing proficiency test. I use a keyboard every day, and I can't type. Isn't that weird? How much extra life would I have claimed if I was a competent typist? My father was, strangely. He learned in the British Air Force how to type, and he could touch type. It was quite amazing to see. Still can't type, says Suze, even though it has become the way of the world. So James and others, hi to all you long name folks and the easy ats. That's one of the drawbacks of putting one of those long names in. Suze will take most of the program saying, hi, I learned to type on a Portuguese typewriter. Now, a Portuguese typewriter, how does it work with all the accents and accoutrement of the letters? Very interesting. Same here, says Antonio F. Can we have a picture, please? Okay, British Air Force, Royal Air Force. I'm so sorry. Yes, RAF, not British Air Force. It's not the BAF, it's the RAF. Okay, and let's go to the first of our articles that we want to take a look at. We did talk about pastel de nata medallions, didn't we, this morning, which the GMP VIPs get awarded. Let's take a look then at Portuguese pastry best in the world. I think we've scooped when I say scoop, I am thinking of scooping out some custard with a lovely spoon of a Portuguese spoon of lovely moist custard. Stop it. Okay, so Portuguese pastry best in the world. The national cuisine of Portugal has once again been recognized with 4 pastries making the top 100 of the world, and the top 2 spots also going to Portugal. Right, I'm gonna have a sip of my tea while you just drool over this picture. There's going to be some dead air now. Okay, can we have a moment's silence for the dead air? After decades in radio, I still find it very difficult to do that. But maybe we could start our own trend, couldn't we, of just pushing that envelope of dead air longer and longer, work our way towards 90 minutes each morning, and just look at pictures of pastel de natas and other pleasant things here in Portugal. Okay, the prize-winning pastry piece here this morning then, in first place in the rankings by Taste Atlas. No, Taste Atlas rather than Taste Atlas is the pastel Belém, and second place going to the more widely served pastel de nata. What is the difference between a pastel de Belém and a pastel de nata, I hear you ask? Because I don't know the answer to that. I thought they were one and the same. I think the pastel de Belém is a kind of trade name, isn't it? That they would say they are the originators. They're the great tourist attraction of Belém in Lisbon, of course. And is it their particular recipe that puts them at first place as a variant of the pastel de nata? Joining me now to discuss this, because I'm sure he'll have something to say about this, is Michael Heron. Good morning, mate.
Good morning. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I had a little bit of an accident earlier this month. I managed to, I don't know if you can see, but I managed to fracture my back, which was quite extreme. Yeah, I'm not joking. But thankfully, I'm good.
You look like the bionic man.
Yeah, literally RoboCop today, man. But in the most embarrassing way, you're going to laugh when I tell you what happened. So I was at a trampoline park with my children.
No.
Yeah, I swear to God. I swear.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, so there we go. But anyway, I'm all good. I would never miss this for the world, obviously.
Even if it was from your hospital bed. Exactly. Oh, wow. So you are at home then? You're not in some rehab center somewhere?
No, this is my office just from a different angle. But yeah, no, I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. Thankfully, I was very, very fortunate. But it was funny because it was like literally a week after turning 40. So it's like, welcome to 40, bang. Your bones are more fragile
never
now.
comes alone, mate. That's what
there's always some kind of reminder, right? At each stage in your life that you're getting a bit older. So yeah.
Well, another way of looking at it is like the longer you're here, the more experience you're going to have, and some of those experiences might be a little bit spicy, like the one you've had. So what is it? Has this guaranteed you a place in the Portuguese trampolining team as well? What happened?
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much. I mean, the worst thing is I used to do a bit of trampolining when I was younger, and I remember my coach in my head saying to me, two bounces jump, 2 bounces star jump, right? And in my head I was thinking, yeah, I can do this. I can show off in front of the children, right? So the first jump was perfect. I did that, what is it called? A Grimsby flop, where you land on your bum and bounce back up again.
So, hold on. No, whoa, back up the truck there. It's called a Grimsby flop.
Oh no, I think that's in high jump, isn't it? Sorry, I'm getting
that's
confused.
the Fosbury. That's the Fosbury flop, isn't it?
Oh, Fosbury flop. So I think I've invented something.
The Grimsby flop, I think, is something quite different.
We won't offend anyone in Grimsby, but I am on strong medication. So if I say anything ridiculous, then you'll have to mute me very quickly. Okay, just need to be a bit careful.
There's so much to this introduction. We can't just gloss over the fact that you're wearing a body brace or a back brace. But you in your mind, I think that was the first warning you should have listened to. Whenever anyone, and I've done this myself, this is why my knee hurts quite a lot of the time, is because I had that same thought. I want to show my kids something. Now, seriously, parents, if ever that goes through your mind, I'm going to show my kids.
The answer is no. The
answer is like, have a warm up at least, but don't just spontaneously launch yourself from the first floor window onto the garage roof and then into the swimming pool like you used to do when you were 12. You can't do these things so easily anymore, as you discovered. So in your mind, you're still a trampolining star. And you're going to show the kids something.
Just something as basic. Obviously, there's children there, right? But something as basic as, and obviously being heavier and bigger means I could jump higher, right? So something as basic as learning to jump in the middle of the trampoline and to bend your legs properly so that you get height. So first couple of jumps, I was like, oh my God, I'm getting quite high here. And little kids looking up at me going, oh, he's pretty high. And then I was like, yeah, getting really excited, right? And then I did the first little jump, landing on my bum, boom, up, like landed on my feet, perfect. Felt like really amazing. And then did it a second time. And the second time, no joke, I heard the crack.
No,
my vertebrae, literally, and just collapsed on the trampoline. Right. Luckily, I wasn't in hospital for very long, but mate,
so you had the full Bombay rush and everything come to
the Bombay rush came. It was like a bad day in Bosnia. I'm not joking. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Luckily, my children were sort of taken to one side. Imagine the trauma, right? Poor things. Luckily, they didn't see it. Although probably they'd have been quite excited to see an ambulance. But
And were they thinking at first that you were mucking about? Because that's what I think my kids.
My daughter could see. My daughter was really worried. Bless her.
Well, the colour had drained from your face, did it?
Yeah. So I was trying to pretend that everything was.
Way to laugh.
Yeah. I managed to walk though. I managed to walk to the side and then just sort of collapsed. And then someone realised I was in a bit of trouble when they called an ambulance for me. So it was all good.
But, you see, our daughter hurt her back at the recent carnival on the jumpolinas as well. These things are dangerous, aren't they, these trampolines?
Well, this is a trampoline park, so it's like 50 trampolines all together, right? So they don't exist in Europe much. It's called Up. I should probably get a sponsorship from them to at least get some money, although probably they won't want me advertising for obvious reasons, right? No, definitely not.
Are they being really nice to you now, though? I mean, if this is America...
Given how many lawyers I work with, mate, you can imagine. Right? I'm like their biggest nightmare of a lawsuit. But no, they were cool. It was an accident, and to be fair, I was lucky. I was lucky with how, because I saw it on the X-ray. It's just a tiny little fracture, but it's right in the middle of my back, so it's not near a spinal cord. It's not near any nerve ending. So I just have to wear this for 3 months. So they discharged me quickly.
So your back is being rested while you go about your life. The brace rests your back, does it, and then just keeps it.
Yeah, and I've been told it's actually good. Like, here's every cloud has a silver lining, right? It's actually good because it forces me to keep my back straight for 3 months. So I can take it off to go to bed. I have to take it off to. Here we go with the dad jokes. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm English.
Bring it on. Yeah, there's no problem at all. So I have to just be a bit careful. I had to cancel a few business trips in February, but it's all good. It's all good.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's my February, guys.
That's incredible. That's
Yeah.
incredible. And are people signing your brace or anything like that? What can you hang things from it? What's it
Not
like
really.
wearing a back brace? Are there any?
It feels good. I mean, there's obviously certain things I can't do. There's certain things I can do. I have to be more careful. But it's
Yeah.
all good. It's all good, mate. It's all good. Thankfully.
Well, I as much as I have been laughing, and I think there's only one race that enjoys this sort of thing more than the English. That's to be the Germans, probably, isn't it? But it's definitely a humour thing, isn't it? Among the Schadenfreude, isn't it?
Yeah,
Laughing at other people's misfortune. Us Brits like a bit of that,
absolutely.
as well as the Germans, of course. So, but I'm really sorry to hear that, and
No,
I
it's all
hope.
good, mate. Honestly, I can laugh now. Honestly, it's fine. It's fine.
Wow, I
I'm
wasn't
laugh.
expecting that this morning. I love it how
No,
you
no.
kept that to yourself until we spoke this morning. Wow, we were talking about typing. Let's just catch up with the comments because there are people who want to send you their best wishes for a speedy recovery, but also tell you about their own accidents, I think, as well.
Yeah, that's always fun. That's always fun to share.
I learned to type on a Hollerith card punch. Wow. Okay, so people are confessing to being good or bad typists here this morning, and we've learned, of course, that the Portuguese typewriter has a different keyboard. Carlos F is here. Good morning to you, Carlos.
Bon dia.
Sarah's here as well. Bon dia. When I went to school in Belfast in the 70s and 80s, you were encouraged to take a trade, but the poor handwriters were encouraged to do pitmans. Yes, I thought pitman was like becoming a minor in the 70s and 80s, but pitman rather than pitman. Typing exams, most went into journalism after that, and they've had to do their.
Oh,
Is that shorthand as well as typing that you'd have done in those days? Shorthand's a really good skill as well, isn't it? Carl, the keyboard is different on a Portuguese typewriter. I'd love to see one of those.
it is. Well, it's on a Portuguese laptop as well. You have the QWERTY
Yes.
keyboard, but just the characters are different. So like the
Oh.
@ in a different place. So it can be a bit of a pain. Sometimes.
Especially when it keeps changing around, which is what happens here. We've got a number of computers around the house and laptops and so on, and it seems to be different on every device that we have in the house here. And I still haven't learned how to do it. One of the developments recently has been having a computer with a Portuguese operating system. So Zoom is now in Portuguese, which adds. I mean, Zoom is bad enough at the best of times as a piece of software, but to have it in Portuguese as well has been a real test of my comprehension. My mum, in all her wisdom, told me that I should take typing as one of my summer school courses when I was 14. When I asked why typing, she said, it will always come in handy. But did you do it? This was long before the age of household computers. And of course, people are given that advice. They don't always take it. And then like 40 years later might be saying, do you know, mum was right, wasn't she? I should have done that.
Well, you joke about these things, but I remember doing GCSE German, and there was one.
GCSEs.
Yeah. There was one class where we had to send a fax, right, in German to like confirm the booking of a hotel reservation, right?
Einen fax.
Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself in the class, as you know, 14-year-old Michael or Michael, as I would have been in that class.
Yes.
Thinking to myself, I am never going to need to do this, right? And then bizarrely, about 9 years later, yeah, not even joking, 9 years later, I was working in a hotel in Spain. It was one of my first jobs after university, and I had to write a fax to a German guest to confirm their reservation in German. And I remembered how to do it. So there you go.
You must have had a knowing look on your face as you performed that task.
It was interesting because I had a German colleague on the desk and he was going to do it. And I said, no. 9, my friend.
Stand back, mein Freund.
Yeah, and watch this. And he was quite impressed. So there you go. This sticks.
After that, you went on to use the trigonometry and algebra that you also picked up at school.
No. And then I never spoke German again after that.
Did you get a nice big tip from that German guest?
Probably not. I think because he was working that day, so probably he reaped the benefit of my yeah.
Oh yes, of course. My daughter has just introduced me to an AI script generator, says Salvation Air Force. And maybe you're using it now. You just plug in some keywords, select a style of writing in a language, and off it goes.
Yeah, see, I could be an avatar for all you know, mate. I could be an avatar right now. You don't know.
Well, we're not going to know, and it's going to be like Blade Runner, isn't it? Within 2 years. You're not going to be knowing what do they call them? Skin jobs or something, didn't they? You don't know if you're going to be talking to a robot, an AI generated
replicant. Do they call it?
Replicants? That's right. Yeah. Yes, so it's here, everybody. Or it will be within a couple of years. Oh, here's the poem, and I never know whether I should read things out or even translate them. But that's
some of your audience make it difficult to rely on spontaneity with reading out messages.
Well, yes, that welcome to my world. And now we have a beautiful poem here. This is the first AI bit of prose or poetry that has been sent to us ever. So this is a moment in history. A bit like you and your German facts, people will remember this special moment. So thank you so much. It's the German facts moment, which is what. If anyone else has got a German facts moment, please include it in the chat. Well, I'm saying thank you. I'm guessing that is the right thing to say, and eventually I will be asking AI what is the right way to say thank you to this AI generated thing I just received, and there is much more, all thrown out in about 20 seconds. Wow. Quality, not necessarily quantity for sure, and ease and speed. But I wonder what an age we're living in, eh? Is a single pastel de nata still 30 cents at Lidl? That's my inflation gauge. I think it may have gone up to about 37 cents now, what with inflation and everything. Disgusting. Yeah, I think you still can get a pastel de nata bargain. I was just about to read an article about the prize-winning pastel, Michael, before you joined us, but we still haven't got to the trampoline references yet. Dad on the old trampoline, the ultimate dad joke.
It's beyond the parody, isn't it? It's beyond the guys in the ambulance were wetting themselves when I was telling them.
Oh, I'm so glad you were able to walk soon after and that you're healing well.
Oh, straight away, luckily, yeah, straight away, thank God.
All right. Hello, Michael. We're coming your way this weekend. Will we see you going back to Aroera? He's not there anymore, are you? We're at Aroera this weekend, Michael.
No, I'm not there, unfortunately.
We're on site at the new development that we'll be talking about with Bobby in a little while. Don't know the price, says Bob, today. We had to back off eating them. They tend to stick with us only occasionally now. Yeah, peak pastel. And they've evened out their pastel munching habits there up in the north. Recover well, Michael. Mini hurt back at the Carnival Jean Paulinus recently. Yeah, quite. What is? I think, yeah. I mean, she's going to recover probably more quickly than yourself. This is how it tends to work with kids, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what is the right warm up then? Having been a trampolista or whatever they're called, should you have warmed up? And what is the right way to approach these devices, Michael? In retrospect,
yeah. I mean, again, I'm not. I mean, calling
the wrong person to ask.
A few times, a bit of PE at school. I wouldn't call myself an expert at all. But no, I mean, I think you use your abdominal muscles a lot and your legs. So I think it's just stretching. But this is what makes it even funnier. The specialist I saw last week, because I had a checkup, said to me that the fracture he saw is more common in very old people because they have very very brittle bones. Yeah, which I saw. Thanks, mate. Or yeah,
you've got the spine of a 90-year-old.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe. No, but he said, or it's if you have a big impact like I had. So that made me feel a bit better. But yeah, no, it's a common injury with older people. But then he said, because what I was worried about is if they needed to operate, you see.
Yeah, of course.
Because they said if you wear this, you don't have to. So that was
Thank goodness for that.
That was why I was able to, be out and about fairly quickly. Yeah.
And that's why
2 weeks since it happened now.
That's why oldies, I guess, need those Shackleton chairs. Not only are they easier to get in and out of, but your back doesn't have to go down with an impact. The chair is at the right height for you. Perfect. Kids, I'm going to show you something always leads to the best dad jokes. Yeah, so seriously, if ever you hear that, and we've been reminded of that this morning, if ever you hear those words in your mind, kids, I'm going to show you something. Maybe think twice about that, right?
Yeah, literally just don't do it.
Just don't. Which vertebrae is fractured? Asked Nom de Plume. Have you got the number?
L1, I believe.
Check it out, L1. Like my 80-year-old dad did for my kids, BMX jumping off a ramp. He's okay now. 80. Brilliant. Hope you're okay, Michael. But I'm laughing in Belfast.
No, you're allowed to laugh, mate. I would be laughing, trust me.
He would. Well, I can tell you that, Deagle. Bon Dieu, Michael, speedy recovery, mate, from Francis. Had that too, but took my elbow out on a longboard at the skate park, showing my kids something. I'm done with all that now.
It's in the same category, bro. It's in the same category.
Step back, kids. And then the dad goes down and the blue lights appear. No housework for 3. Oh, no housework for 3 months. Can I borrow your brace when you're done, Michael? There's a thing. You can sell that when you finish with it.
Well, I live by myself, so I can't really do anything about that. My mum is My mum is staying with me until next week, which is helpful. And I do have a lady that comes and cleans once a week, so
Right,
that
okay.
definitely helps. Yeah.
All right, but you're open to offers for others who want to get out of doing housework.
Oh yeah, once this is finished, this is available for rental. So anyone that needs, and visually it's quite impactful. So the credibility is there to get out
Is
of
it?
multiple things around the home. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh wow! So you could get out of your chores and duties. Well, and when you go to a supermarket, do you get to the front of the queue as well?
Oh yeah, definitely, mate.
Oh wow!
The pharmacy, the Prioridade, I'm milking it, mate. 100%.
Excellent. So this could go on for like 4, 5, 6 months because you just
mate. Like every time I just whack it on to go down the supermarket. That sounds really bad, but yeah, I could do. Why not?
He could. Stand by for messages from others in the community wanting to borrow. In Brazil, hollerith is used as the word for pay stub occasionally. I don't understand any of that, I don't think. Not sure about
no, me neither. I'm glad you said it because I thought it was the medication I'm taking, but I didn't understand the word.
Mrs. M used that mug with the green She so didn't she? You were mug twins, and now we are this week. Very observant this morning. Thanks, Bob. Oh, yes, Bob Winger, of course. Jason Hall. Bom dia a todos. Jason at Quinta Essencial. Chris is here as well. I also did German GCSE, the GCSE generation. Is that what the exams are still called in the UK, GCSEs? Because I did O-levels.
They're not called O-levels anymore, mate.
No, but that's great, isn't it? Because when you say I did O-levels and A-levels, people aren't quite sure how to calibrate those. I mean, you always just say they were much harder, don't you? And everyone can believe you because it was the old days. They were in black and white as well, my exams. My dad knew typing.
Their life was in black and white then, wasn't it?
You're right, easy. My dad knew. Yes, and we had medicine balls, not your modern trampolines. We just got
medicine balls.
Throwing, you have a PE teacher, an ex-war hero, or a war hero, coming back from the Second World War, who could throw a medicine ball at your chest and take you out with that. Yes, never did me any harm. My dad knew typing, and in 1952, after being drafted into the army, it was his typing that kept him stateside as a company clerk. So, of course, I was made to learn typing on a manual typewriter. Check it out. You never know what we're going to talk about here this morning. I didn't expect.
I know it's just the niche topics that just like flow incredible,
Not even got to the pastel de natas yet. Yes, I took the course 6 weeks in summer at age 14, and I've used it ever since. Always grateful for Mum's modest wisdom from the forthcoming book of Mum's modest wisdom. Keep up the good work. Watching from Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you, Martha. Lovely to see you here this morning. Nairobi, how about that? Botswana, Nairobi, South Africa. Who else? Where else are people listening in? France as well this morning. The best way to approach a trampoline. Will you ever go on a trampoline again? Are you going to get back in the saddle, or are you just going to give it a miss?
I'll get back to you on that one, mate. Probably not.
Okay. I got to attend 2 GMP live shows today. Something's coming. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be great. Yes, from West Side Story. My vibe right now. Time to say goodnight, Gumpers. Nice one, Suze. Great to have your company. And a hollerith card is an old computer punch card. So there you go. And I can recommend those electric back warmers. Really good for a bad back if you need that. Later on there as well. Good. I was in the first year that was allowed to use electronic calculators for maths O-level. Judas! It was like when Dylan went electric, wasn't it?
You were using an abacus probably, mate, weren't you? Back in
I was. Yeah, abacus. I look like a proper old Chinese guy walking into the exam room.
Oh, yeah, of course. Even more. Sorry, I didn't even think of that. Even more appropriate.
Before that,
oh my God, I'm so sorry. That sounded awful.
No, it's fine. I'm not going to get offended. Okay. Before that, it was all slide rules and log tables for now. A log table, for anyone who doesn't know, younger viewers, is a book full of numbers, really. A terrifying thing, which was, I suppose, before log tables and slide rules, when people did use abacuses or whatever else they did, they would have thought that was very modern. It's all relative. We were talking about Neanderthals and Neolithics not having prosperous communities this morning, but in our own time, we are at the leading edge. We think we're the best, don't we, in our own time?
And we fail to learn from history, but let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Oh, no, let's not do that this morning.
Definitely not.
What a downer.
Yeah.
What? There's a little admission that comes out and turns into a police investigation. Our PE teachers will watch us in the smiles. which probably back in the day was described as a perk of the job. And now, thankfully,
wow,
yeah, you know, that's horrible to hear, isn't it?
that's strong,
And
mate. That's
it is so wrong. My God. Okay, yes, history repeating itself and PE teachers. I just feel a little bit down now after that. But
me too. We need something to bring us up again.
Pastel de Nazas, how about that?
Perfect.
Much better. Okay, so what is the difference, Michael, then between a pastel de Belém and a pastel de nata? Do you know the answer to that?
Well, it's a secret, isn't it? The recipe is secret, so we don't know. So
but they are. It is basically a pastel de nata, right? The pastel de Belém. It's their own trade secreted.
It's their own. Yeah, it's their own. So you have to go to the specific place in Belém where they sell the pastels de Belém. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I always used to think that the pastels de Belém were better than the pastels de nata. But then I realized the reason for that is also mainly because you get them warm and fresh, because there are so many people buying them that they have to make them all day, right? But then I realized that anywhere in Lisbon that you hear the bell ringing, it's the sign that a fresh batch has been made. And if you eat a fresh batch of normal pastels de nata in a good place in Lisbon, then they taste, in my mind, equally good. So I think it's just good marketing from Belém to do that, to be honest.
Isn't it just? And they've managed to scoop first prize. Sorry, Michael, I was laughing really uncomfortably while you were giving that explanation because look,
why?
My PE teacher used to get in the shower with us.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, that, I would take that to a psychiatrist, mate. Yeah, that sounds well dodgy, man.
And I'm assuming it was a male teacher, not a female.
Well, even worse. I mean, let's just clarify. That isn't normal. I'm an 80s child. That never happened. Mate, you may want to go and have a word with yourself.
I mean, it's not funny, but the weird thing about that
was that in the Salvation Army as well.
No, there's no good. No, don't be besmirching other institutions or organisations here. But
he's besmirched it already. He or she has besmirched that.
Full stop. Seriously.
Wow. Yeah.
There's a kind of poignancy about that, isn't there?
Good job there isn't a capital S on the serious or that anymore.
Oh, that wasn't AI, was it? That's just human, just kind of odd human experience. And all of life is here this morning on the Good Morning Portugal show. I'm glad I've got a drink. Honestly, I am this morning.
Are you sucking it already, mate?
I'm not yet. I'm saving it for the the opening of sales at Herdade de Meio, and I've got a glass of white here. Did you bring anything? Because I think behind you.
No, it's a bit early for me, mate. I mean, it's
come on. There's got to be a bottle of whiskey in that.
I've got a day of work ahead of me.
Oh, have I?
You part-timers, you guys in the media, you do one show in the morning and then go out to the pub like, the old Fleet Street journalists who finish at 11.
That's right. Salvation Air Force.
Glory days of journalism, right?
Yeah. So that's more's the pity that it's not like that anymore. And I'm just keeping it up out here in the colonies, keeping up those old Fleet Street traditions. Now, don't pretend that those are real books behind you, because I think there's a bottle of whiskey in there somewhere.
I wish, mate. I wish.
Are they real books, or are
they're real? They're real. Yeah, they're real.
Yeah. Okay, not just like an.
No, they are real. Ooh. Encyclopedia Britannicas.
The Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yeah, mate.
Fantastic. Okay, but I still think you could get a Jack Daniels miniature if you hollow out the pages of some.
The midday miniature could fit in any of those, no problem.
The midday miniature. Do you know what I was watching last night? On Netflix, you can see Scent of a Woman. Hooah!
Oh yes, someone. One of my friends saw that the other day. Said it was really good.
Oh, I haven't seen it for a long time, and I started to watch it late at night last night, and I was really enjoying it. And he talks about John Daniels, so he says, "Give me the John Daniels, son." And Chris, whatever he's called, brilliant actors, the pair of them, says, "Don't you mean Jack Daniels, sir, Colonel?" And he says, "When you've known him as long as me, and you call him John Daniels, hooah!"
That's a movie! Brilliant. That's brilliant when you've known him as long as me. I don't remember that quote at all.
John Daniels, yeah, absolutely. How did we get there? So, okay, back to pastel de natas, Belém de nata 1 and 2, and then you'll see as well there are two other gongs. There's the Bola de Belém at number 26. Straight in at number 26 is the Bola de Belém, which is a beautiful piece of confectionery. And I think there was another one. Can you see another one in there? Because I can't.
Awkward tweet at the beach, I always thought, though.
What, with sand or sugar? Depending on, yes.
I mean, if you didn't want two things to marry together, I always
Yes.
find that's an awkward moment when your children, but boys, the bully, and your children want you want one, and then you have to like make sure that their hands are dry and not wet.
Yes. Yeah.
Otherwise, it can all go a bit wrong. Although to be fair, a bit of sand never killed anyone. To be fair,
That's true. That's true. A little bit of mineral content to go alongside your I thought there were 4 Portuguese pastries in this lineup. Oh, there are some others here. We're going to Twitter now.
So is the Danish pastry an actual thing then? Because I thought that was just something that we call it in the UK. Is that did he actually call that in Denmark a Danish pastry?
Well, I guess they wouldn't call it. They would just call it a pastry when in Denmark, wouldn't
Yeah,
they?
exactly. That's my point. We don't call it a French croissant, do we? So isn't there not a word for pastry in Danish that they use? Just suggesting.
I think, they would just go with the definitive article, wouldn't they, of the pastry. And I really thought there were 4 in total special prizes for Portugal in this, but apparently not. So, okay, unless I just can't find it for the time being. The Italian focaccia, which I think if I was a journalist, I'd always want to include that in any article about pastries and baking. Focaccia de Recco, the Swedish kanelbulle, and the Bulgarian banitsa round off the top 5 on the list, which also includes, are you sniggering about that? Also includes other suggestions.
Perfect pronunciation.
I do my best. So, yeah, the Bolle de Berlin was placed at 26, which of course was a German import at the time of the spies hanging out in the casino at Estoril, as legend has it.
Really?
I believe so. I believe that the Germans.
James Bond was tucking into his Bolle de Berlin without us realizing as well.
Yes, indeed, that's right. Germans, neutral Portugal, Second World War. They were in there just hanging out, trading.
That's where the James Bond books were inspired by, wasn't it? That Ian Fleming was hanging out at the casino in Estoril. Apparently, that's the story. I don't know if it's real. That
is the story, and I think whenever Bobby O'Reilly's around, James Bond seems to come up. So, ding, ding, ding. Let's bring him onto the screen now. Yeah, Bobby. What is it about you and James Bond?
No, but it's just that sexual magnetism, I think,
Yes, it would appear to be. And you were nodding in the background there. That is the story, isn't it? That the German spies, they brought the Bolle de Berlin with them, and we have it to this day, covered in sand and other things that you find at the beach. Hopefully, not too many of those other things you find at the beach. Good morning to you, Bobby. You are at the Herdade de Meio sales office this morning. An exciting day for you.
I am. We're still in the middle of getting everything ready. There's guys putting together furniture outside for the decking and so on and so forth. So it's all down to last minute. There's guys here painting. The model only arrived yesterday, but the stand still wasn't painted. So all put together in the last 5 minutes, but it's ready. Thank God.
Excellent. That's show business, though, isn't it? Have you got a camera crew there filming this?
No. There's a couple of guys coming on later on, and there's a few people here. So, it's still a bit early in Portugal for anyone to be up and about, There was a couple of guys queuing last night in sleeping bags outside, but I took their names. I said, go on home.
That's brilliant. So it's like getting a new house at Herdade de Meio. It's like getting the latest Apple phone, is it? There, people are forming a queue.
I think it's for Coldplay. It's
just a chance to meet Bobby in person, right? Because we've seen his face plastered around Herdade for so many years.
Yeah, well, that Herdade, that's what connects us all. We have all had an Herdade connection. Bobby still, of course, is there, and Michael and I used to live on the what is to become the legend. Well, I mean, it is legendary in our minds, but I think it's going to go to a bigger and bigger international audience, isn't it, Herdade? And just down the road is Herdade de Meio as well. All of this action south of the river, which I think we could see coming, couldn't we, us gentlemen here, the beauty of south of the river. And it seems like everyone else is catching up with us now. That's one of the key features, right, of the Herdade de Meio, is its fantastic location, Bobby.
Yeah, I think timing's great here, as in there's still good value to be caught on this side of the river. And as we all know, that there's so much to offer on the south bank. And yet access to Lisbon is quite straightforward, it's quite easy as well. Once someone doesn't crash on the bridge, having a look at the beautiful scenery. But
I was going to say it depends, but it is pretty good, and I think the other bridge works perfectly as well.
The Vasco da Gama. Yeah, I always, to be honest.
The thing that frustrates me the most after not living Adawedo anymore, is I discovered the boat from Casillas to Cais de Sodre really late on in my stay there, because I had a client in Cais de Sodre, and it's like an 8-minute boat from Casillas. So if you work that side of the city, it's perfect because it's really close.
Yeah, getting a ferry across is great.
I had a guy visit the stand yesterday, and he's a guy obviously in the know, but he's telling me as well that even close to here, they're going to extend the motorway directly over on this side of the Herdade. Nice. Yeah, that'll join up with the A33. So good news for the transport links, if you like, you know.
It's just getting better and better then, by the sound of it. I mean, Michael's pretending he's like all cool with us south of the river. He's moved north of the river though. He's up there. He went north. He couldn't resist the temptation. But we still speak to him, and he's a bit poorly, Bobby, as well. He's showing off in front of his kids. I don't know if you saw that earlier on. Showing off in front of his kids.
Yeah.
So please tell us more, Bobby, about this. For anyone who doesn't know about Herdade Meio, you can have a pointer or a laser pointer with a lovely illustration behind you. Can we have the key features?
Yeah, so basically, as you can see from this, it's called Herdade Meio because basically, number one, it's location. It's in the middle of everything that's around you. Herdade, as you know, like a state or grand estate in the center, in the middle. Why we call it that is because basically you're 10 minutes to the beach, 10 minutes to the golf, to our way to the golf. You're 15 minutes to Lisbon by train to Campolide. You're 5-minute walk to the train. Also, the train gives you access to everything for 40 euros a month from Stubble to Herdade. So it's a nice, cheap way to travel the commutable routes, for example. But also, you've got very good schools. You've got all the supermarkets, all the fast food places, the cinemas. Rio Sul is 5 minutes away. So basically, anything that you want around you or that you need around you is around you. And this is a greenfield site that it's an 11-hectare site that basically we've created a new community here, a new neighborhood. And what we're trying to do with this particular one was to develop the most modern house possible, keeping it affordable, and also to have it inclusive in the current neighborhood that's existing as it is. So that, I think, was the original part of it. And then we started going on the green side of it, where we brought in the solar panels, the batteries, the inverters, that allows the house to run completely autonomous to the grid. And not only that, if you're, for example, you go on holidays, the house will probably pay you 15 euros a day for electricity. And the house itself will also be an A+ rated house. So the energy efficiency in the house as well, for the amount of power supply that you have, will be just there, fantastic for us, but also can charge your electric car. As I said, also we're hoping to we're giving access to a brand new Mercedes. Mercedes are giving an offer on an electric car to people who buy the house. And basically, you're looking at about 25,000 euros for a brand new Mercedes electric car.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. So the idea is that you're going to have plenty of choices here. You can decide to take the train, the bus. You can take the bus to the beach. It has its own bus stop here. But also on top of that, you have all the social facilities that we want to bring the whole community together. So it will have 8 paddle courts. It'll have a multi-court for multiple sports use, tennis, basketball, etc. And also there will be a gymnasium and a cafe stroke bar, alcohol. I said to someone, alcohol free. Does that mean free alcohol? No.
No.
So I said, no, we're not going to have any alcohol served in the cafeteria. Portuguese are sort of come a little bit shocked when they hear that. They can't understand.
Yeah. What's the thinking behind that, though? That is very countercultural, isn't it? What's the thinking?
It is. It's actually, it's once it's a movement. It's basically, we want to go on a completely new idea of health and fitness, and also for children, because like in Ireland, for example, I know Ireland's known as a drinking culture, but for example, you don't go to McDonald's and buy a beer. You can't, you know. Alcohol is really in the bars, obviously supermarkets, etc. as well. But even in the restaurants, it's typically just wine that you can buy in sort of like, you know, where you go out for evening meals or whatever. But in the normal day-to-day lunch menu sort of restaurants, you can't buy alcohol. And that's not the meaning behind it. The idea is behind it was that, when your kids are going down to play tennis or they're going down to play paddle court, etc. as well, that they're not surrounded by alcohol all the time. And also there's a lot of people who don't drink alcohol. I'm not one of them. But but there's a lot of people who don't drink alcohol, and it sort of gives them another option of let's go here for a day or let's go here, rather than feeling the pressure to actually have to drink alcohol or whatever. It's not a main driver behind anything. Really what it is we just want to have something a little bit different to
clearly. But I mentioned this earlier on this morning. It is a thing. Sobriety, giving up alcohol, is definitely something that's going on right now.
It's not easy at all,
Good timing. Good timing. No, but as someone with young children, I mean, I don't drink a lot, but if I could take my children somewhere where I knew there wasn't going to be any alcohol consumed, I think that does give you like a different mindset. It's a different vibe. It is nice. It is pleasant, And yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Herdade, and the whole Herdade there where we lived is fantastic. And I think at the time, for me, the main issue was the commute, because I worked a lot in Lisbon. Now it wouldn't be as much of a problem because I mainly work from home. So I think the world today, a lot of people telework, if they work in Lisbon, it's only a couple of days a week. So it's not as big of a deal before. And I think the school situation has improved, right, Bobby? Because I think back in the day you had Guadalupe, which was the only international school relatively close by the way. But I think there are more options now, right?
Yeah, you've got the Collegio de Val actually now, where my own kids go, and they also associate with an American school as well. But you have great public schools here as well, and yourself when you move here, especially if you have small kids or your kids are born here, their first language, or just let's say it's going to become Portuguese. My own kids, they're blonde hair and blue eyes. And everyone's a bit confused when they speak because they don't look anything like Portuguese, but their Portuguese is the same as any other Portuguese child. So I think it's good to put them into the Portuguese schools, but of course, if the international schools that are around now as well gives them more opportunities for college, etc., as they grow older. But also, you've got colleges on the South Bank now as well, and also plans for new colleges to expand and so on the South Bank as well. So. And with the Seychelles Council as well, I know they've got big plans to develop the whole sort of area because if you look at their whole economic plan of what they want to do over the next 10, 20 years, it's about developing residential, commercial, industrial, and to attract jobs like big international companies.
That was the one I was always expecting to happen in Setúbal, like a big multinational. Because when that happens, then all the prices will go up, right? So presumably now's a good time to get in still, because there's still value, right?
Yeah, right now I think this is the only sort of, I believe, within a sort of a reachable area of Lisbon right now. Like where in Lisbon will you going to get a 250 square meter villa with a private pool, 15 minutes from the city, under €1 million? It's not heard of anywhere. And here we have launching today at €545,000 for such a villa. That's also, you've no condominium fee on it, because this is going to become part of the Seychelles municipality as well. But how to say, it has a lot more than just a house to offer. So I think that's what people are going to grab on here. And I think the added value is in all the extras, not just the house and the solar and everything, but it's everything that's around you as well. Location.
That's a great price. That's a great price.
Michael's thinking of moving back south of the river.
Maybe.
The 25k Merc and driving that the ferry.
I mean, can I just say, sorry, I'm not meaning to plug Bobby extra, but that is a great deal, because cars in Portugal are extremely expensive for anyone who's not aware of it, mainly because VAT, or IVA they call it, is 23%, and second-hand cars retain their value for much longer than in the UK or in Ireland. So 25k for a brand new electric Mercedes is a good deal.
Well, that's another way of looking at it then. So like, you can buy a 25k Mercedes today, you can get a nice big house thrown in south of the river as well. Herdade Meio. Very, very good. Well, this is wonderful, and yeah, Michael, I think visualizing himself living the dream again south of the river, because of course, in the ferry you mentioned, some of the ferries that go across from the south to the north and vice versa, you can drive on them as well, can't you? You can still do that over there on not at Caixa de Sodré, but certainly at.
But yeah, I think you can, and don't forget, if they ever finish the airport in Montijo, that'll be another big benefit as well. Let's see. They've been talking about it. Yeah. They've been talking about that for like 10 years. But I think eventually, but listen, eventually they'll have to. I mean, I've been traveling a lot recently, and I have to fly from Lisbon, unfortunately, and it's chaos. Honestly, it's going to collapse any day now. They can't cope with it. So I'm sure
the volume of passengers and flights.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. Like even on a Sunday morning when there's not as much, not as many flights, or just on any normal day, it's crazy. I have to allow like 3 hours to get to the airport before my flight sometimes.
Well, there's a good tip, everybody. Ask anything about Portugal Wednesday, which is what this is, and launching today. Sales at Herdade Meio, of course. Bobby O'Reilly's here. Michael Heron's here. We've got well over 20 years experience jointly, I think, of living in Portugal. So if you've got any questions about coming to Portugal, living in Portugal, we're here to help you with those and to celebrate the launch today. I've got my white wine ready, having had that having had the talk about booze and sobriety earlier on. As a developer, Bobby, you have to be pretty visionary, I think, and imagine what people might like. And you've shared with us quite a lot of the features of the new Herdade Meio development and the lifestyle that's possible there. Have the things that you thought people would be attracted to been the things they've been attracted to, or have there been some surprises in what people like about this project?
Actually, no. I was on my own trumpet. I think I got it spot on.
Yay!
I think a lot of it was that because I have a large family, and I have also young kids as well. But we come from a very big family. Like my mum and dad actually now are in Australia, but she's one of 14 kids, and of which 13 of them are still alive. And so, like, we came from a big family. So family for me was, I suppose, we grew up with a big family. I grew up with a family business. And I suppose the one thing that we wanted to get right was the whole sort of family unit and the house, and, to have those kind of everything around you that the family would have part of. So when we started the house and started to design the property, we just wanted to make it as sustainable and also as smart as possible, to make it future-proof, if you like, So, like, we've wired these houses with what they call a KNX system, which allows you to do or not to do whatever you want with the house. So if you're into all that high-tech stuff, and there are going to be fantastic add-ons you can add to this house if you want or not want. But then when you go to sell it in the future, whoever you sell it to gets the same choice. And we have Chris, who will be here in the marketing suite as well, that will be explaining all those different choices with regards to the type of add-ons they have. But I think really it's the sustainability was what people went for. They love the idea of having control of the cost of living. When you take out the cost of, the main things that you're going to always have to worry about is your mortgage, your car loan, the petrol cost, taxes, etc. as well. So what we've done with this house is that we've taken out that you can control your own energy, whether it be for running your car or for running your home. And I think that gives everybody a little bit of relaxation. And then you have all these extra added comforts that you can add on to it. And who doesn't want those added comforts, that kind of way. So, I think there's nothing we can think of that we could add into it that's going to make it any better than it is where it is, So, no, I think we got the mix right, to be honest.
Well done. Congratulations. One thing you might not have thought of from Portugal's Sun, are there any trampolines there, Bobby? Asking
Yeah, no.
They very easily can be. A quick trip to Decathlon.
Asking for a friend. Look at the cheeky boss asking for a friend.
Yes.
It comes an add-on. Yeah. Buy one as an add-on.
Yeah, no problem. In fact, yeah. If somebody buys today from the community of Good Morning Portugal, we're chucking a trampoline. How about that? I'll cover the trampoline.
I'll personally come and build it for you.
And Michael will be there for the launch to the housewarming to show you how to use the trampoline correctly as well.
How to warm up properly and avoid injury.
Best of luck from Dawn. Best of luck, Bobby, this morning. And good luck, Bobby, from Deagle McKillen over there in Belfast as well. Good luck, Bobby, in your launch. So how does it work? How does I mean, you've done this before, obviously, Bobby. How does it work? I mean, it must be amazing. You open up the office there, and people will just turn up and sign on the dotted line. Is that the idea?
Yeah, we've had, there was a huge amount of interest. Like I said, before we even started to market, with over 2,000 people had inquired and asked for more information and price lists, etc. And so what we've done is we've invited those people to come and show what interest they had in the property. To be honest with you, like going on even the feedback and the SVPs, that if you like, the people are coming back saying that, look, yeah, we're very interested, we want to hear more, we want to come. And even people saying, please hold me a house because I can't come today. Can I send you the money and then we can pick the house later? All this kind of thing. So to be honest with you, I think phase one won't last a day. Let's be honest. I think phase one will be done. Phase two might become part of phase one because the demand is such. So we're going to open the doors 10 o'clock and start signing reservation forms. That's it. And then people have about a month to organize the CPCV money. And we've already spoken to a couple of banks, and the banks are actually willing, for people living in Portugal, they're willing to put up the full 30% of the CPCV money in advance.
Sorry, Bobby, what is CPCV?
Sorry, it's the promissory contract. So basically, when somebody comes and buys a house, then normally we'll sign a promissory contract of where they will pay 30% on the contract, which will be a month from now. So right now, when someone reserves a house, it's like a €10,000 reservation fee, which is refundable. And then when they're happy that they've got their finances and they know everything, their lawyer has checked out the paperwork, etc., they will sign the contract and pay 30%. But in this case, we have banks that will actually pay the 30% upfront to the buyers, and they will only pay interest only over the period of the build period. And then on the completion of the deed, that capital that they had borrowed, it just goes back into the mortgage. So you only pay the interest over that part. So it leaves it a little bit easier, because I believe a lot of people who are buying here are actually selling properties in Lisbon that are moving out. So they're selling their apartments, there's, I would say, upgrading to a villa. And you know yourself, in Lisbon, small apartments worth more than even some of these houses, you know. So there's a couple of different ways. We're there to help people, to help them to buy it. So we're not going to be one of those ones, you have your 30% in on such a day, or sorry, it's off the market, you've gone. So the idea is we're there to help people with whatever help they need with regards to organising finance, if they need more time even to gather up the money for the deposit, you know. So if it's a realistic goal for them, and it's realistic for them to do it, we'll dare to help them do it.
Brilliant, great stuff. Okay, you see the video rolling next to us there. Herdade Meio launching today. I've got my glass of white wine ready for the 10 o'clock launch. Before then, we have got some Ask Anything About Portugal questions, which I'm hoping you, Bobby, and Michael can help us with. A slightly serious one here. This is, if you find yourself, this is a cultural difference and adjustment, and I think we can extend this to other road users as well. Question for Michael. Bobby, you might want to chip in as well. I understand from cyclists that if you get hit by a car, you have to make sure to call the traffic police, not just any old cop will do. Is that true, and why? You do have to do that, don't you, here in Portugal? If you're involved in a prang, that people just leave the vehicles where they are, don't they? That's sometimes why it's difficult to get from the south of the river. Not a fan of this procedure, Bobby?
It's a joke. Come
Right.
on. Like they have a little bump on the car, and they have to sit there for 2 hours till a policeman comes and goes, okay, move your cars. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's the insurance companies that tell them, oh, you don't claim responsibility, even though you know who's in the wrong, don't claim responsibility, stay where you are, etc., this kind of stuff. And the rest of them have to suffer it. I genuinely believe that if someone crashes on the bridge, you should be able to get out and at least break a mirror or something, you know, for holding the rest of us up. But,
so not a fan, but it is true. You do have to do that, don't you? That is the current procedure, is you call the traffic police.
Is that even if both drivers agree on whose fault it was? Do you still have to call police?
I heard that if both drivers agree that you can, but it's the insurance, the way they do it normally is the insurance companies tell you, regardless what accidents you're in, you're told don't claim that, don't accept responsibility until the police come and say whatever it is. That's the advice.
The insurance company of the person who's admitting fault won't accept it and allow you to claim on it unless the police have seen.
Yeah, they tell you not to claim. So the first thing, if you ring an insurance company, I've been in an accident, they'll say don't claim responsibility. Let the police go and do a report, etc. And regardless of whether it was you that was completely in the fault or not. So it's a sort of golden rule.
It's stupid because in the UK it's simple. If you go into the back of someone, it's your fault.
Yes.
Regardless of whether they break suddenly. It's because you haven't allowed enough distance, and then you exchange insurance details and you're off on your way, assuming the car can be moved, right?
And even move out of it.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Thank you for answering that then. So whether it's a cyclist or a motorist, you're meant to wait. Leave everything as it is so that the scene can be assessed by the police officers who will come and do that. And as Bobby says, sometimes that might
and make sure you've got the kit in your car, which is the high visibility jacket, the first aid kit, and a triangle. Otherwise, you can get fined for not having that. Because
I think you need yellow vest for everybody in the car now. So it's worth.
And you're not allowed to stay in your vehicle even if it's cold either. I think that's a problem as well. So just be careful.
Goodness. Are you glad you asked, Sarah, with that? I've another motoring inquiry here, or an apology for me to make, really, is that I said that if you wanted to find out if you've got any fines owing, not fines, but toll payments owing, you could just walk into a post office, give your registration number, and find out. Now, that's only valid for a few days, and we're not sure which days it is. Bobby, I think you might have some input on that.
The CTT app. You have the CTT app. If you download the CTT app, you actually have a part of you see a little picture of a car on it. You click on that, and then you put in your registration, and it tells you if you've any tolls outstanding.
At all, and if your grandparents have still got tolls outstanding. That's what I was concerned about, because we've discovered that this is another link here where you can find out if you've got any old tolls. Because sometimes what happens to people is these debts get sold, don't they, to a collection agency who can get quite heavy and send you a letter saying that back in 1972 you drove through an unauthorized part of Portugal, and they've got a photo to
put in the bin.
Put them in the bin. Yeah. Slam dunk with those. Okay, fair enough. But here's another way of finding out if you just want to, because that's the problem. You sometimes drive on a road, maybe in the Algarve, and it's like it's changing. There's a gantry. Are there cameras on it or not? And you're not sure whether you should have paid anything. It can be confusing and a little bit stressful. So here's another. So sorry if I've said that to people and they've fallen foul of that. But here's another way of checking that thing there. Did you want to add anything to that on tolls, Michael? Get the transponder, stick it in the window. That's the thing to do, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, and that's the easiest way is to have the
Via Verde. Okay. Calling the police is not mandatory. Usually only happens when both drivers strongly disagree on the facts. And you'll see that from time to time as you drive by.
Every accident that's ever happened.
Indeed. We've got Capricorn Chris here. Michael, look after your back. Get well soon.
Thanks,
How
mate.
many high-vis vests should you have in the car? It's turning into a pub quiz, isn't it? So one for each.
One per passenger. So you should have 5 just in case, right?
Yeah, okay. That's when you're driving in Lisbon, or as Andrew calls it, God's race circuit there. And I recently, look at this, we've opened the floodgates to motoring anxieties here. I recently received a speeding fine 50 weeks after the offense.
Yeah, that's normal.
I received one 5 years after.
Speeding?
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't speeding. It was like one day that I didn't have the Via Verde, and I forgot, and I drove through it. Didn't remember it, and I got a fine for it 5 years later. So they will catch up on you.
So bureaucracy really is a job for life, isn't it? Yours and theirs, by the sound of it. Okay, well that's great. We've answered a few questions there. We are launching Herdade Meio. Exciting times south of the river there. Is there anything we forgot, Bobby, that people need to know about this very game-changing development?
I think actually we could have the crowd outside.
I'm hanging on the door already.
I have, but there's a load of people out here waiting already, honestly. But I know you can see out the window.
Wow, it's looking good. Okay, there's the sales office. We'll be there on Saturday as well. We'll do some live streaming from the site on Saturday, which I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say is that we actually have a fantastic marquette here, which basically is a model of the houses. And it's a very realistic representation of how they're situated within the actual compound, or not compound, but on the site. So it's easy to get a good orientation. So if you're really interested in looking at these properties, to come down to the sales office, it'll be staffed 7 days a week from 10 to 6. Although the way it's going, it'll probably be just for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, like if that's the case, that's the case. So I have another announcement that we're going to do is when we finish this project, we have a new project in Arueda that it's 14 villas, just off of the Avenida de Mar, which you know is the beach road. Steps from the Aldi there, if people know it. Yes. So we're going to 14 very nice villas there as well. So that we hope to launch in about 3 months' time.
Amazing. I'm changing life south of the river. It's been long overdue.
What will the price on those ones be, Bobby? Do you know?
They're going to be a little bit more expensive. Location and the site cost a lot more. So you're probably looking at around the 850 mark there on that side. The design is only under design at the moment, but we got our planning for the allotment, site planning, the PIP, and so on. So we're about 3 months out from finishing the actual design of the houses. It'll be a different design, but on the same concept of what we've done here: sustainability, future-proofing, A+ energy, good open spaces, and adaptable houses. So houses actually can change interior as your life changes as well. So, but that we can talk about here on the marketing suite here. We've been explaining all that to them.
That's a great idea, because that's the thing. So many houses are designed by strangers we never meet, making a lot of assumptions. So I love it how you're making this a lifetime home and a family home, as you mentioned before. Yeah. So I know you've got to go. 10 o'clock is when the doors open. We better let you go, Bobby. But raising a glass to you here on the Silver Coast. All the best to you, boss, with the project, and hopefully you will sell out by the end of the day. All the best. You're not one of them, you said earlier.
Take care. Thanks for having me, Carl. Take care.
Cheers, mate. All the best. Bye for now. Ciao, ciao. Good luck with it. See ya. I'm going to have a quick sip of this. Oh, that's going down well this morning, Michael.
Wow.
Looks great, doesn't it? Looks really great.
It does look nice. Yeah, it looks really nice.
Yeah, off he goes to sell a few houses there south of the river. We've got some dad jokes for you, mate. You thought I'd forgotten, didn't you?
Oh, I was hoping to leave before that, but go on then, humour me.
What a lovely warm reception for the dad jokes there. Okay, did you know? Oh, I think I peeked a bit early. You have been spared one of them. Did you know that bumblebees can fly higher than Mount Everest? I'm looking at your face already. This is fantastic. Okay, let me just do it that way around. Did you know, Michael, that bumblebees can fly higher than Mount Everest? You are able to say, "No, I didn't know that," or
"Oh no, sorry, I'm not."
You're just going straight to poker face.
I didn't know that, Carl.
Oh, very good. Of course they can. Mount Everest can't fly. Oh, he's already injured, and that's not helping.
Oh my God! Wow. Okay.
You read ahead, didn't you?
Mate, I read ahead. Jesus.
I successfully managed to weigh a rainbow. Turns out it was pretty light.
Well done.
Oh dear, so sorry. Okay, back to the last few comments then. Adaptations in property, so important. Worktops that rise and fall like a stand-up desk in an office. Things are changing, aren't they? 250 meters square is the answer. Looks like we're already the community answering questions about Bobby's properties here. This is fantastic. Bon dia from you this morning. Hey, Michael, how are you? And Capricorn Chris, don't overtake where it's prohibited. My neighbour got €160 fine in the Algarve. It wasn't the money that was the issue. He said it was the time they took to write the ticket. 30 minutes. They didn't go on a typing course, did they? Or even a handwriting course or whatever. Yeah, you got a budget for these fines from time to time. It's just how it seems to work here. Mikey, just leave. You don't have to put up with these dad jokes. Just walk.
I could just click leave studio, couldn't I? Why haven't I just done that? I'm too polite. Andrew, I'm too polite, mate. I'm too polite.
Oh, Andrew, is it all right to share the man cave video? Let me know, because I don't want to expose anybody publicly who might not want to be so.
Oh, what happened there?
No, it's not a bad one. No, it's just an intro. Do you know why they give out a special tie at the Man Cave gatherings? What that's for? The tie?
No, I haven't been there for a while. So I was hoping that someone had fallen asleep again on.
No. This was actually in their meeting. Oh, we can show the video, so we'll do that. If you want to put some faces to names that you've seen in the chat here, we'll do that. We'll play that as the last thing this morning. So yeah, adaptations. That is such a good idea. Well done. Thank you everybody for your comments. Thank you, Michael. Well, I'm sorry we laughed so much at your injury.
No, it's better, man. Honestly. Like it's just laughter is the best medicine, as they say.
It really is.
It genuinely is. It genuinely is. No, it really is.
Well, we wish you a speedy recovery, and goodness only knows. There's always something new you bring when you turn up.
I know. It's incredible, isn't it? It's just the gift that keeps on giving, right?
You certainly are. You're the man who is the gift that keeps on giving. So thank you for your excellent and dedicated service to the Gumper community. Have a great day. And,
have a great day too. I'll come back with some dad jokes for next month. How about that?
Yes, good stuff. All right, Michael, take care, mate. Bye for now. Ciao.
Everyone.
There he goes. Okay, we have a Man Cave video to play now. Or have I wonder? Oh, there were some other things. There were some other beautiful things. This is an event that's happening up in the north. A puppetry, not that sort of puppetry. I know where some of your minds are going, but this is a really marvelous vehicle. Like a puppet show, traveling puppet show that's happening up there in the north. In the Herdade region. It's not too far north. Thank you so much for. Oh, and we've got some lovely pictures that have come in from Herdade Meio as well. Oh, thank you, everybody. Frank, Nom de Plume, Carl, superb. Thank you for sending in your wonderful contributions this morning. Might have to carry them over till tomorrow morning. But what was it that Andy said about this wonderful puppet show here? This is the Paleta. Robertos y Marionetas takes place this weekend from March the 3rd to the 1st in Gafania de Nazaré and in Ilhavo, recovering the ongoing tradition of this type of theatre and its traditional location by the beach. This is the Portuguese Punch and Judy then, isn't it? Superb stuff. Thank you very much for that. And then this video clip, some of the names that you'll have seen on the screen. Here they are with Andrew. I'll leave you with this today. This is Andrew introducing you to members of the Man Cave, some of whom, like Antonio F., you'll have seen on the screen in the chat here. Have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow with Fabrizio and Ian. Bye for now. Ciao.
So the recipient, I'm filming this, the recipient of the Man Cave prestigious award tie is Santos. Awesome. And joining us, Santos, let's just flip the camera. Joining us in this prestigious occasion night out, we've got Eric J. Carl, Dan, we've got Helen, Lidu, Wave, Nuno, we've got Pat, David Steph, who is it? Raphael, Antonio F in the house. This is Antonio in the house. Mr. Kent Albin Esquire in the house. The man, the myth, the legend. There they are.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.